Smash and grab robberies of vehicles, stuck in hazardous nighttime traffic were the main courses on the menu of Bandit choices. I decided to throw myself on the merciful good judgment of a driver who had likely never eaten in a restaurant in his entire life. Connaissez-vous un bon endroit pour manger, monsieur? I asked. Do you know of a good place to eat? His eyebrows did that ascension thing again. Not so much like an act of rising to a higher level, but more like the arrival of Christ into heaven after his resurrection. He was so clearly flattered in my trust of his opinion that he took a full minute to compose his response. Hotel Pradi? He said, or asked, or equivocated. But I wanted him to feel confident in his choice of eateries as much as I wanted him to be correct. Robin was giving me that not-so-sure expression. Mais bien sûr, I asserted myself. Hotel Pradi. Pourquoi je n'ai pas pensé? Why didn't I think of that? Robin didn't appear totally convinced. He nearly put his clutch through the floorboards in his relief at our entente cordiale and roared off down several more narrow alleyways to the bottom of the hill. If you Google Hotel Pradi, not only will you not find a website, you won't find a Hotel Pradi. If you Google an English translation for Pradi, you will get only Pradi. From the appearance of the exterior we arrived at, this was completely understandable. Only an ailing neon sign confirmed that we had indeed reached our destination, Hotel Pradi. Our first clue should have been the empty parking lot, but it was raining and perhaps our vision was slightly impaired. Our second clue should have been the welcome. We were the only ones glad to see us. Everyone else was surprised and none too grateful for having to detach themselves from the black and white television flickering in the corner of the lobby. Even then, our taxi had departed and we were in no mood to consider our good fortune anything less than a miracle. But our third clue, and this is where I must admit the loss of all my otherwise keen powers of observation, should have been that the restaurant was deserted and as dark as the neighborhood we had just driven through. But this was now a pilgrimage, and the lights in the eating part of the Hotel Pradi were now tentatively switched on. I motioned to a man who I thought might have been a waiter, but serial killer might have been a more accurate job description. He brought menus and water. I touched the menu, but I wasn't about to walk on the water. I asked for beer. 3 horses, he asked. I assumed that was beer, and not a main course, and nodded. The fourth clue should have been the gargantuan size of the bottle. Patrons came here to drink. Robin frowned and took refuge in her menu. What's safe? She asked. But it was already too late for that. I know, she said. What? I asked. What do they have everywhere in this country? She continued. Roaming in herds, pulling their carts, blocking their roads. Zebu? Exactly, she said. I'll have the Zebu medallions. Serial killer wrote down Zebu. I think I'll try a local dish, I said. Robin stared at the suggestion, but I was determined to rescue what little elegance I could from the circumstances I had created. Here it is, Eureka moment. The national dish of Madagascar, Romazava. What's that? She remained unconvinced. It's a meat stew with spinach and onions and garlic, I said. It comes with rice. What doesn't? She asked. Serial killer wrote down Romazava. We were on our 9th horse when the food arrived. Not for no reason was the tablecloth the color of bile. The bad news was that the zebu was so tough that Robin couldn't get her fork into it. The good news was that they completely left any trace of meat out of my national dish. They could have at least given you some bones, she said. The French fries, like other gifts from the French, were greasy and cold. Robin and I rearranged the organic matter on our plates for long enough to realize it was time to bid adieu to the culinary excellence of the Hotel Pradi and return to the sanctuary of the French general who had so brutally mistreated their families. But here was a new problem. After 9 horses of big beer, neither Robin nor I could remember the name of the general, and consequently could provide the hotel staff with the name of our lodging. Serial killer logged onto the French keyboard in front of him and Googled the names of all the accommodation in his city of 1.3 million inhabitants. I racked my brain for the name but found nothing but helpless oblivion. We were just beginning to consider the opportunity of having to spend the night in the other part of the Hotel Party when our cab driver came through the front door to inquire as to how we had enjoyed the meal at the restaurant he had recommended. I might have hugged him, but he was drenched from the torrential rainstorm continuing outside, and he was only saving us from the monstrous plot he had concocted in the first place. Back at La Maison Gallieni, the young lady asked how we'd enjoyed Chez Mariette. We told her that Mariette had taken the night off. "But where did you eat?" she asked. "I plan on forgetting," Robin said, "unless he writes it down someday." Thank you very much. That's a good tune. We were also bandits in Madagascar, but you have to buy the book to realize how much. Which leads me to the really unpalatable part of this, and that is where you can get the Bandits of Madagascar. So, you can get them here. I don't have many, so you might have to wrestle each other if you want. You can get them online, and I have to warn you, because a friend recently told me of her experience. Don't go to Amazon.com, go to Amazon.ca, because it's cheaper. Really? A lot cheaper now.
That's weird.
Yeah. So there is a print book, there's ebook, and there's audiobooks. I like the audio. Just to show you one more thing, there are Bandits of Madagascar. For example, if you buy Bandits of Madagascar in New Zealand, Wheeler's, which is the largest retailer of books in New Zealand, will charge you $71.50 New Zealand, which is about $60. I don't get much of that, so we're going to have a chat in a few weeks. Right? If you go to Portland, Oregon, you can buy the audiobook for, where is it? $74.97 American. Don't do that. Go on to Amazon.ca. I have to tell you about the next project. Because the next project is going to hit really close to home, because it's going to be a history of Nanaimo Regional General Hospital. And all the glory and all the characters who've impacted so favorably and unfavorably on my life. It'll be fun. It's good. It's just going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for this to be over, so I get stuck into it.
Excellent.
All right. Well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. And, lights, please.
That was good.
So I guess I'm still over here.